Hello, 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 hello. I hope you all can hear me out there. How's it going? We are back hosting Brilliance on a Monday again. We're so excited to be here with you all today. So let's just relax. I know you probably had a long day. Share this out. Come on, guys. Let's see, where are you at? Let us get started. We have a brilliant, beautiful, lively, and wonderful guest today, Nykia Tillman. And I'm just going to, as you all are coming in, I'm going to read her bio for us today so you know who we're dealing with because she is a rock star. I'm telling you right now. I know firsthand. Nykia Tillman is a dynamic speaker. She's an author. She's a Christian life coach and educator, y'all. Y'all know we host these brilliant educators because we educate in and outside of the classrooms, and classrooms can be everywhere and in our communities, homes, churches, and schools. Listen, she is the owner of a high fashion clothing boutique, y'all. And I seen the fashion show. She is a wife, a mother of three beautiful children. She has a passion for helping individuals heal from the inside out. Come on. And I know we all need that. Her revolutionary transformation has catapulted her into her inner healing and deliverance ministry. There's so much to unpack here, guys. We're not even going to have enough time to really dig as deep as we want to. So come on in, let's go. We're going to even have to have her back. She just has so many layers to her and so much to share and give to the world. And I'm super excited to talk with her today about that. And she has a ministry called Hope Restored Life that she has founded. Her message of restoring hope and healing is breaking chains, y'all, and helping individuals experience the life of God intended for them to live. Her valuable insight into mental health and coupled with her valued insight into mental health, coupled with her philosophical background, I hope I said that right, provides spiritual and emotional transformation. And that's what I'm all about, transformation. So good day, everybody. Let's go. Come on in. Come on in. We are live. And if you're catching this on the replay, please go ahead in the chat and put hashtag replay. All right. So, no, I don't want to take any more time, but I want to talk because I want to introduce my guest, Nykia Tillman. Say hello to all the people.
Hey, everybody. Hey, Robin. How are you?
Oh, girl, I'm doing really well. I'm excited that you are here. I'm so happy that you are here, and I'm hoping that this is working well. And we're trying a new platform, guys, for the first time. So hopefully you all can see this. And we will check, and if not, we'll go and make sure you do get to see it. So, Nykia, what's going on today? Like, how are you feeling?
I feel good. I feel good. And I always feel honored anytime that I get a chance to share my testimony. I just feel like God has done so much in me. And I just feel like if He did it for me, He can do it for others. So I'd love to share my testimony. And thank you for having me on your wonderful show, Robin.
Thank you for being here and agreeing to be here. We're so excited to have you. And we're going to take this time today, everybody, to really delve into Nkia's story. And I want to know, I'll just let you all know, I've known Nykia since college,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
And
Yep.
so that's a long time ago. I know we look young,
Hey.
since college was a while ago, and so many things have happened in life since college. So I don't know that we've like talked in depth since college, right? But when I went, I just want to say, y'all, I went to a book release that she had a couple weeks ago and a fashion show. It was fabulous.
Thank you.
Fabulous. How did you get to that point, Nykia? Because I was really shocked about your story. I was like, whoa, wow, what your journey? Let's talk more. People need to know. Sometimes you look like you're okay, but sometimes you may not be. Talk to us about your journey.
Yeah, so the fashion show and launch that Robin is discussing right now, it was called Total Transformation. And in that event, I was really sharing, it was my book launch. And so I have my book here. It's called Hope Restored. Healing Emotional Wounds of the Past. So it was my book launch. And so I was able to tell a little bit about my story and how God helped me overcome many areas of bondage. And then as I began to heal on the inside, I began to glow on the outside. Okay. And so I also had a fashion show, like you were discussing already. And so I'm the type of person, I love a total transformation. I love to celebrate beauty on the inside and also beauty on the outside. So I coupled it together. So with the ministry is Hope Restored Life, and that's inner healing. And then the fashion show is the outer beauty, and it's all the whole person. So
Wow. I mean, I thought it was very unique and well done and beautiful. And but I think the beauty of it was that it wasn't just a show, you know.
mm-mm.
I felt really like in that space, I felt like you were sharing and like your whole life was kind of just on display in a sense of, I'm just going to put it all out there and show my transformation.
Yeah.
What made you kind of go that approach where it was really personal and it was really intimate, but it was really like, it was beautiful.
It was personal and it is personal. So the whole ministry, Hope Restore Life, is foundationally about my journey. Just like I was earlier, that God really helped me overcome so many areas of bondage. Robin, listen, I was in bondage almost every life, all at one time. I was in bondage financially. I was in bondage physically. My body was breaking down. In my relationships, I was not getting along with my own husband and my in-laws and my family members. So that wasn't God's will for my relationships. I was also breaking down in my emotions. I was questioning my purpose, my calling. I was stressed. I was overwhelmed. I was struggling mentally. When you're worried and fear and have, full of fear, you have anxiety attacks and panic attacks and things like that. So I was struggling with all of that. And furthermore, I was struggling even in my relationship with God. It was because of the misconceptions that I had. I didn't believe that he was speaking to me like he was speaking to other, what I believe was super Christians or something. People would say, God led me here. God led me here. God said this to me. God said that to me. And I'm like, God, you're not speaking to me like you're speaking to these other people. And so I felt that way. And so I also felt like he wasn't hearing my prayers. And I was just confused and overwhelmed. So, Robin, I was stressed, depressed, angry, bitter, confused, heartbroken, traumatized. And during this time, I just simply lost hope.
Mm, wow. I I really don't I really don't know how you come back from that. Like I've
Mhm.
seen and I've heard people who have had similar stories and are no longer here,
Yeah.
who've had mental breakdowns
Mhm.
and literally are living a life that they'd never imagined.
Mhm.
How did you like when you think about it, that's pretty much your whole life, right? My
So,
family, my like my everything, God, everything just feels
everything.
black, done. And many people unfortunately don't come back from that. They don't realize that they have brilliance. And so one of the things I wanted to follow up and ask you about that is how did you get out of that hole to say, wait, like what is one specific strategy that you had to use for yourself, or a story that you can share where you're like, wait a minute, wait, like your turning point.
Yeah. So I just like I was saying, I was depressed. I had lost hope, and hope is a confident expectation of good, and I just didn't have it. And so I was desperate. And I mean, even to talk about even more in depth of what I was going through, when you start to struggle so bad internally, it starts to manifest externally. So my body was breaking down. And I remember going to doctors after doctors and having all these symptoms in my body. and the doctors didn't know what was going on with me. And then finally, I remember it got so bad, it felt like something was squeezing in my heart, and it was just squeezing tight, tight, tight with no relief. And so finally, I was diagnosed with an extreme case of GERD and acid reflux,
Mm.
and or acid reflux. And the doctor said I was going to be on medicine for the rest of my life, and it's incurable, and that's just what was going on. And so I just remember and it was just adding more stress and more fear and anxiety. And so I just remember getting to my rock bottom. And sometimes at your rock bottom, that's when you had the only way is to just rely on God and just put your hands up. And
Mm.
so I remember one time I had like only a mustard sized seed of hope as I went into a church one day.
Mm.
And I remember I didn't say anything out loud to anybody. I just whispered in my own mind to God. And I said, God, please heal my heart. You know, I literally felt like death was creeping at my back door. You know, I was giving up. And so I remember walking to the doors of the church and I said, God, please heal my heart. And so when I went inside the doors of the church, I started to fill out my information. And then this woman, she grabbed me and she started to hold me. And then she whispered in my ear and she said, God wants you to know that he's going to restore the beauty back in your heart. And I was like, oh, he heard me. You know, he
Mm.
heard me. I was like, this woman doesn't know me. She doesn't know my story. And she definitely didn't hear my silent prayer request because I said it in my mind to God. I said, that was God,
Yeah.
you know, and that was hope. A
Yeah.
hope, just like I said, is a confident expectation of good. And I felt like he heard me, he knew me, and he cared. And
Mm.
he promised to do something, you know, and it
Mm.
wasn't, and for the first time, it wasn't on me to figure it all out.
Wow.
You know, he promised to do something. And so
Mm.
I remember attending the church, and then afterwards, I went up for more prayer. And then this woman, she starts to hug me again. And she said, God wants you to know that this is how
Mm.
tight he has his arms around you.
Wow.
Now, mind you, Robin, all this time I thought God was disappointed with me. I thought he was angry at me. I thought he was withholding blessings from me, not talking to me because of whatever was going on in my life. But that was the first time I knew that those were incorrect beliefs. And
Wow.
he wasn't holding anything against me. He wasn't angry with me. He loved me unconditionally.
Mm.
And then I had hope. I had some more hope. And so, furthermore, I went home and I said, God, now that I know that you're not angry or withholding from me, let's talk.
Come
I
on
said,
now.
let's talk. I'm no longer running from you, I'm running to you. So,
Mm.
God, what happened to me? And so
Yeah.
I asked that. And, you know, in the word, it says, when you call on him, he will answer. You know,
Mm-hmm.
he's a very present help in the time of trouble. So I called on him. And then I just waited to hear his answer. And then he started to reveal to me what the root cause of every
Mm.
area of my bondage.
Wow. Wow, isn't that something? So basically, he's with you. This is what I heard, and this is what's resonating with me.
Mhm.
He'll never leave us, nor will he forsake us, right? And so when I'm thinking about your hope, right, and where that actually came from, it was there all along, but it needed to be unleashed, it needed to be unlocked, and
Mhm.
and God doesn't leave us, and sometimes He even comes into the form of other people who will just come and speak a word into our lives, and you're like, what in the word? So I appreciate you saying that. And then lastly, I really heard you say once you started to shift your beliefs around, okay, maybe there is something. You said I had a little bit of something, a little bit of hope. You start to believe, shift your belief a bit, and with that, that's all he needs. He just wants you to shift a little tiny bit, give him a little faith, have a little faith, and you're like, okay, let's talk. Wait, what's going on? And he starts
Yeah.
to reveal because he knows us very well. So that's why I love that song that and if you're just joining us, we are with Nykia Tillman, Hope Restored. I'm trying to tell you guys, she is dynamic. dynamic. She really is. She's a dynamic woman, mother, entrepreneur. She's an author. She is a fashionista, honey. She is just all these things and so much more, right? Because we don't even know. Like God has so much inside of us that's bubbling over, and that's why sometimes we go through so much trouble and challenges. I think, right, Nykia,
Yeah.
because we don't always know just the brilliance that is inside of us.
Yeah.
And I love your story. I thank you for sharing your journey. And I want to now move to thinking about your mission, because what I got from that is your song, He Knows My Name. That's
Yes.
the song that
Come
Nakia really
on.
is vibing with, honey. She's vibing with that song. And so when you rehearse that, you're not alone. You can walk and step into your brilliance. Can create a winning life. So if you are listening right now, if you're just getting on, put your name in here and say hello. Tell us where you're tuning in from. If you're on the replay, hashtag replay and say hello to my guest, Nykia Tillman. Woo! We all need hope, right?
Yeah.
So with this story you created, this is so brilliant to me. You then created a whole ministry. You literally turned all of the depression, all of the doubt, all of the things on its head and said, I'm going to help other people because nobody should have to go through this.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to us about how that was created, and or even like what exactly you do when you're supporting people with inner healing and all of those great things with your
Yeah.
little company. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the story that I just shared was just kind of the background about what happened. But I will tell you, when I finally asked him, I said, God, what happened to me? How did I get here? How did I get to a place where I was so depressed and so felt so alone and just overwhelmed and breaking down in my mind and my emotions and my body? What happened to me? What he did, he started to show me the root cause of every area that I was struggling in. And he showed me it was my beliefs, Robin. Just like you mentioned, he showed me it was my beliefs. Now, your beliefs affect your thought patterns, and your thought patterns affect your emotions, and your emotions can affect your actions, and your actions can affect your quality of life. But it all starts with a belief, right? And so when your belief aligns with words from the enemy, I'm alone, I'm not good enough, whatever it is, insert whatever lie that the enemy told you, you're only going to get destruction.
Hmm.
It's either going to be gradual or immediate, but the enemy comes to kill, steal, and destroy, right?
Oh, Nakia, before you go on, I need you to say that again. I have to put that in the chat. That is so powerful. Beliefs start with, go ahead, say that one more time. It starts with your
Yes.
beliefs.
Yeah, your beliefs can affect your thought patterns and your perspectives. And then your thought patterns can affect your emotions and your attitudes. And then your emotions and attitudes can affect your actions.
Mm,
And then your actions can affect your quality of life, right?
mm,
And so, but it all starts with that belief, Robin. And so when your beliefs align with any word that aligns with the enemy, anything
mm.
that God didn't say.
Right.
It doesn't
That's
matter who
right.
it came from. It could come from your mom, it could come from whoever. It just doesn't align with what God says. If you believe anything that counters what God said, you're going to get destruction.
Mm.
That's the road that it's going to go to.
There you go.
But
Mm,
if you believe any word that God says, you're going to get life and life more abundantly every
mm,
time, you
mm,
know? And again, it's going to be either immediate or it's going to be gradual, but you're going to get life. So, yes, the battle is won or lost in the mind. I like that. It's the
right.
truth. And so that's what he showed me. He showed me it was my beliefs. But
Yeah.
what he did, he took me all the way back to childhood where my beliefs were first formed, these incorrect beliefs. I
Mm,
thought I was alone. I thought that I didn't matter, you know. I didn't love myself. I didn't like myself. I didn't believe that I was equipped, to go after my dreams and desires of my heart. All this started in childhood.
Listen,
And it happens a lot of times with people way back in the childhood.
let's go. Let's go there. Let's go there, Nykia,
Yeah.
because I think that's exactly why I do this show too.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I know people are educators in and out of the classroom, all that, but everything that we do really does connect back to where we've been in our childhood. And not only that, it affects the children that are in front of us,
Yeah.
that are watching us today.
Yeah.
And I want you to continue on, but I have a picture, a really cute picture that I don't even think you know that I have,
Okay.
of how I was impacted. But say more about that, and I'm going to show that picture as you're talking. But go ahead.
See, now I'm so distracted. I want to see the picture.
Okay, I'll just show the picture. So I was, oh, this is beautiful. Okay. I was so taken back by Nykia at her event, guys. So let me just try to share my screen really quickly. So let's see. I heard this little voice of this child, and she's like, yes, her mom was up there, she's giving her speech, and she's like, and she was sharing her story just like she is with us today. And she's like, yes, that's right, yes. Up in the front row cheering her mother on. First of all,
Yeah.
I'm looking like, what is going on? And then her friends were next to her. She had a whole little area where it
My
was just her and her
daughter.
friends. And she's like, that's right. That's right. And so as I was thinking about you, and I was thinking about that, my heart was touched by this child. Because
Yeah.
when I think about what you said, if you don't believe in you, how does that affect your child? If you don't have hope, how does that affect your children, right? Your family and our children that we're in front of every single day, or the people that are our students that are looking up to us. I don't care who it is, whoever's assigned to us. And this little
Yeah.
cutie patootie, let me just try to share this, present this screen really quickly. Here we go. Let's see. Tell us about your family really as I'm sharing this, because I think it's important.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know what? I'll even talk about how children are impacted by ourselves. They take in and they learn a lot, not just by what you say, but what you do. They watch you. Children watch you. And so as my children started to see me healed, they were impacted. They started to say, oh, there's my girl. So
She was directed.
my children were able to see me finally go after the desires of my heart and my dreams. And they started to see me move forward, even when there was like opposition and obstacles. I kept going. I'm like, I know what God said to me. He gave me the desires of my heart, and he said he'll be with me. So I kept going, and my children's going to watch that. All three of them, I have three children, and they're going to watch that, and they're going to follow their dreams, and they're going to walk in their authentic self because they see their mommy and daddy walking in their authentic selves. And that's how generational blessings happen, and they're going to pass it down to their children. So I want to be my best self and walk in my authentic self, believe in God, and they're going to do the same. Look at my children.
So when I walked in, these two cutie patooties were, sorry, you see a little bit of me, they were several, like, here you go. They handed us a bag. They greeted us. I just love how you incorporated everybody, your family, your husband, everybody. And you could see from what you said in your story, like the whole transformation. And I want to show a few of the pictures as well. So keep talking. So you might see me pop up some stuff up here while you're talking. But your mission now, your mission that you're on now really does impact your children. I see it firsthand in your family. I see it firsthand.
Yeah.
I just love it when I see, I love it when I see them excited about what mommy's doing, excited about like I have hope too. If mom can have that, I can have that. And
Yeah.
so when I think about everybody educate, and I think about we say it takes a village, right? Where everybody's educating, mom's educating, dad's educating, the teachers are educating. Like it's a community effect, and we've got to get to a place where we are all restored. Talk a
Yeah.
little bit about what people might need, maybe like 2 or 3 tips that people might need to consider when it comes to walking boldly into a healed life, a restored life, so that they do display that type of hope for their families and their communities and their and wherever whatever there is they're doing.
Yeah. You know what? God has put a gift inside each and every one of us. Okay. And God has already put the desires within our hearts. And he said, here's the thing, he promises certain things. Okay. He's
Mm-hmm.
not a man that he shall lie. When he promises something, you can expect it. So those visions that we have within our hearts and our minds, go after them. He's going to be with you. He's going to back you up. Even if a door shuts, that's okay. God is the one who opens doors, the correct doors. Just keep going. Keep going. God is going to back you up. And he said that he's going to open up doors that no man can even open. So, you
Mm.
know what? Move forward by faith. God is going to equip you because he's the one who put it in you. You know,
Come on. Listen,
so,
let me look in the chat. Hi, guys. If you're just tuning in, I'm with Nykia Tillman, and she is an author. She is an educator. She is a mother. She is so many things, fashionista. She is so many beautiful things because she went after her vision. She turned depression and anxiety on its head and said, no, I'm going to overcome these challenges. I am who God says I am.
yeah,
He knows my name. My
yeah.
children will flourish. My
Mhm.
family will flourish, and so will I. We will move forward. So, hi, I see some people in the chat saying some wonderful things. Yes, hi, Anika. Hi, Carla. Says, what do you always say? Don't go in there alone. You don't go in there alone, right? So when you think about that, you're not alone. Even
You're
if you're
not.
alone, you're not alone. You think nobody else has your back. God has your back. Thank you so much for sharing that.
That's the truth.
Anika, listen. And it's so important that we remind and lift each other up with those words, with those things, because it's a hard journey, but it's not hard with him.
And you're never, ever, ever alone. I thank you for saying that. The woman who said that in the chat, you are never alone. I grew up my whole life believing that I was alone, and I had to figure it all out on my own.
Mm,
Once I knew the truth, because it's the truth that you know that is going to set you free.
that's it.
You shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. Once I knew I wasn't alone, and God was with me the whole time, and he promised to give me wisdom. He promised to instruct me, and he speaks to me within my own heart. When I was able to start discerning his voice, I went. I authentically just started to go, naturally started to go, because I knew he was with me. So thank you for sharing that.
So you and it's a mind. So first of all, just to kind of bring it kind of full circle, it was a mindset shift,
It was a mindset shift.
and
Yep.
then and then you have an understanding your identity and who your identity was in,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Mm-hmm.
then things started to flow authentically. You actually said you started to hear his voice. And I remember early on, you talked about you weren't hearing the voice. You were feeling like lost, right? What were some key things that you knew you were hearing God's voice? What were maybe some key things you're like, I know this is my mission. Like, I know this is it.
Yeah. It was when I started to understand how he speaks. It's usually not an audible voice. And so when people say God said this and God said that, I'm like, what? God is not saying anything. But then when I knew the truth on how he speaks, his spirit has joined with our spirit to become one spirit. So he speaks within our hearts. That's where he's residing. He put his spirit within our hearts. And so he downloads vision, and he downloads wisdom and revelation within our own hearts. And it matches his nature. It's good. He has good plans for us. And so I started to move forward knowing that he's speaking within my own heart, but then he gives me external confirmation. So I'll listen to someone like you, Robin, and then I'll get that you know what? That inner like, oh yeah, what she's saying is right. You get that confirmation, but he's speaking within here. And so I started to, I stopped rejecting the ideas of my heart because I did that before because of my beliefs. My beliefs were, oh, that's just me. Oh, that's too big for me. But
Mm.
then I'm like, oh no, so that's him speaking to me in my heart. So it was no longer too big for me because God said I can do it and he's with me.
Yes.
So I stopped rejecting the ideas of my heart and started to yield to it. And so it was game time after that.
Yes, game time. Listen, so I know we want to talk a little bit more about like your message
Yeah.
and what you really want people to take away because you said a lot of amazing things today. But when I think about Nykia, I think about your message. And I'll even as you talk about it, I'm actually just going to I also have it here to put in as a banner. So let's do that right now. Um, I love this. Talk to us about this message that you want to leave us with today.
Yeah, that is the message. You guys, I was drowning in depression. You know, I didn't have hope. And if he turned things around for me, he will absolutely do it for you. It doesn't matter if you think your struggle is little or big. There is hope. You can overcome. Um, the thing is it's about your beliefs. Align your beliefs with the truth found in his word. And he promises, he promises to help you through. And so in this book, I'm going to talk a little bit about this
Yes.
book. It's not only just about my testimony. My testimony will, I believe, will really encourage people, but it facilitates a place for you to connect with God and allow him to take you on your own personal journey of where he's going to identify the areas of your struggle and then teach you one by one on how to overcome them so you can thrive in the very areas where you were in bondage. He promises.
Mm. Mm. I have my book. Hold on. Let me get back on the screen. Let's put our books up again. So I
Hey,
wanted to talk a little bit about that. Let me see, where am I at? Okay. So let's hold up our books.
hey, okay.
I'm so excited about my book. Yay. And like Nakia said, this is not just her story, but there's a lot in here. She can go a lot deeper in here. And I want you all to get your book, purchase your book. You can get it on Amazon. I'm going to put it in the chat um, before we get off of here today. And I want you to think about what do you need hope for? Do you need hope? And
Mm.
I think we all do. And what area have you kind of been sitting like, I don't have any direction. I'm trying to figure it out on my
Mhm,
own.
mhm.
And how do you need to be restored? How do you need to be restored? Do you have that childlike heart? I just love that picture of her daughter and the experience with her daughter there and her sons, where they were, they had hope, like that childlike hope. Where'd you lose yours? Like
Mm.
that somewhere along the way, somebody might have said something to you. I don't know, and I always ask in my interview forms, like, was there a teacher that changed your life or someone that changed your life? And I actually want to go back to that question because I want us to remember if they're about maybe our experiences and where we do need hope. Maybe there was a teacher that helped us to be hopeful and guided us along the way. Maybe it was a Sunday school teacher. Maybe it was a school teacher, or someone that helped us think that we can, and somebody maybe helped us think that we couldn't, and God had to turn that around. Can you share your story around that before we go to? Because I love to hear those stories too.
Absolutely, Robin. And so, like a child, I would just absorb. I would discern and watch. And one, first of all, my husband. I watched him as he struggled in his career, but he knew who he was
Mm,
and he knew whose he was.
come on.
And he knew the gifting that God placed inside of him. So I remember him just like he would just he kept pressing forward
Mm,
even when there was so much opposition. I'm
mm.
sorry, I'm stumbling on my words, but so much opposition and so many like roadblocks, but I saw him relentlessly
Mm.
keep pressing forward, because he said, I know what God placed within me. And so I would just watch him do that. And then I'm like, God, I need that. Sometimes we can watch other people, and then finally we look to God and say, God, I need that. And then here comes God, and he's going to encourage you and say that same relentlessness that your husband has, I'm
Mhm.
going to put it in you.
Mm.
You know, that same passion that he has, I'm going to put it in you. And so I watched him. And so the other teacher was Pastor Joseph Prince. I don't know if you have listened to him, but he knows
Oh,
how
wow.
to, he's good. He's really, really good. And he helped me understand the Bible without religion. You know, I was
Mm.
stuck in religion for so long, but he helped me to understand how to rightly divide the word. And he helped me understand grace. And I
Mm.
fell madly in love with my Heavenly Father.
Wow.
Yeah. So I just listened to him teach. And the more you know truth, the truth is going to set you free. And I madly fell in love with God. And so authentically and organically, I said, you know what, let me share it with others because it's so good, you know. And so that's that passion he put inside of me. It was natural. I
Yeah.
fell in love with grace, I fell in love with God, and I naturally just wanted to share it with others.
Wow. That's so beautiful. And I love the perspective of your teacher as I mean, your husband as a teacher as well. That's it's just so the essence of how we build each other up if we choose to do that. If we choose to walk in our gifts, walk in our calling, walk through our struggles. You said your husband walked through his struggle and you watched that. That's teaching, right? And it inspired you. Your children are watching you guys do these things and it's like, whoa, okay, I know how to make it through struggle. And then you talked about even just the influence of people saying, wait, all this religiosity stuff that's kind of shutting me down and not really having me have the relationship with God that I know I should have and could have. Wait a minute, let me get back my mind right. So mind, body, spirit, all of those things going into that transformation, that restoration of helping you to have that restoration of hope. And it's beautiful. I'm going to ask you guys in the audience, what's one thing that you really want to work to restore hope for? What is it? What's one thing? And you don't have to put it in the chat, but it would be nice if you want to share, you can share. But think about that. Think about that. And I'm hoping that Nykyia's words today, I'm hoping that just her whole heart that she's pouring out in passion shines through to all of you. And I will show a couple more pictures as she tells us where she can find us and what she has coming up next. And we love to have her back other times as well. So Nykia, talk to us about where you will find. Oh, I'm sitting here and you don't even see my face, do you? Talk to us a little bit about where we can find you. I put your book in the for Amazon where they can click on that link and go get it. And that you're on Instagram. So talk to us about where we can find you and what is coming up next.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can find me, and you can maybe put this in the chat. It's www.hoperestoredlife.com. And there are so many exciting things, you know, coming. So I'm going to have inner healing courses. And so I'm actually going to teach. I'm going to teach the inner healing, you know, and help facilitate and guide through the inner healing journey. And then we're going to have memberships where we can come together certain days and share stories. And you know, you can't, my pastor said, you can't be your best self by yourself. So we come together and we encourage one
I
another.
love
We
that.
share testimonies. Yes. And so I love that part of it. And then coaching sessions and more books to come, children's books. You know, I have a heart for the children. So there's a lot to come. And lastly, I told you, as I started to heal on the inside, I started to glow on the outside. So I started a fashion boutique. I loved fashion since I was a child, you know, but when I didn't believe that I can do it, I didn't move forward by faith with it. But now that I know that God's with me and He's going to help me fulfill the desires of my heart, I went after it. And so I opened up a fashion boutique, It's called The Glow Company. Yes, that's one of the pieces right there. Um, but that is www.theglowcompany.net. And I love celebrating the inner and the outer beauty. So I can't hear you anymore. I can't hear.
My
I
mic
don't
was muted. I do this all the time. You would think, I'm like, why can't you hear me? We were fine the whole time. Okay.
know.
www.theglowcompany.net.
.net.
Thank you. Okay. I have those in there. That was my favorite piece, by the way. So that's why I showed that. But I love how you're combining creativity. You're so creative and combining that beauty and the fashion with the hope restored and the class. Like it's awesome. I love it. I love it, and I love
Thank
that
you.
you're your authentic and beautiful self. So if you are listening right now, please show some love for Nykia. Say hello, 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 and thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for everything, for sharing your life story and being so transparent. We appreciate it. And I know somebody was touched, and I know somebody will be touched, even if you are listening to this on the replay. And you know how to get in touch with Nykia. Go right into the chat, and you can see where you can get her book. You can see where you can go on her website for both her fashion and for her classes for Hope Restored Life. I'm so excited to have my guest today. You want to have any final words before I close out?
You know what? There's hope. Every single area. I don't care what you are struggling with. God cares. If you care about it, God cares about it. He cares about everything that you're going through. He can help you overcome. God is good. He remains good. Okay. So he's got you. He is your ally. He's got your back. Go to him, run to him instead of from him. So, okay, I can talk a lot. So,
There is hope in
hey,
Jesus, a present help, Redeemer. I love that song. You are a present help.
hey.
I love, love, love that song. And that's what I'm taking away from what's glowing from you to me today. And I hope all of you out there. So we're super excited. Thank you all for coming. We have something coming up too. I want to just show you guys before I leave. I thank you so much, Nykia. You can stay right on. More dynamic women speaking and talking about walking into your brilliance and being transformed. There is a summit coming up. So I just want you all to be aware of that as well. So I'll just pop that up here real quick. And I'm trying to get as many people there to please support me. I'll be one of the speakers or speakers from everywhere, from all over Canada and everywhere. And so it's called the Dynamic Women Summit. I will put it in the chat. Please show up and support and register. Even if you can't show up, register. I'm trying to be the one that has the most registrations now and show up with all my brilliance and all my brilliant people. So I'm really excited to do that. And so, Nykia, you again, like I said, have just been amazing. We appreciate you. So as I'm trying to get this off, y'all, you see I'm trying to navigate this StreamYard. I'm liking it.
You're doing great.
Let me go back here to the regular screen. All right. I think we're back. Yes, we're back. Thank you. Thank you for coming. And thank you, Nykia. Thank you so much for you all listening. And we shall have a great night, shouldn't we? Because we're going to, in our sleep, just all the visions, all the dreams, all the glowing, all the beauty, all the hope is just going to be restored. Let's hold up our books again. Hope, restored.
Restored. God bless you
God
all.
bless you all.
God loves
Take
you.
care, you all.